What if I told you that the car you're thinking about buying could lose nearly 3/4 of its value in just 5 years? No joke. 72% of its value? Gone. Imagine tossing 50 grand into a fire and walking away with just $14,000 left to show for it. That's exactly what happens when you buy certain cars and drive them off the lot. In today's video, we're breaking down the 20 biggest money-wasting cars on the market right now. Make sure to stick around till the end, because this isn't just another list. It's your guide to avoiding some serious financial regret. We're exposing the worst automotive money pits that are dressed up to look like premium rides. Kicking off our list at number 20 is the sleek and sophisticated Audi A7, which loses a jaw-dropping 60.5% of its value within just 5 years. That means more than $43,000 vanishing from a car that originally sells for about $70,000. Sure, it's a head-turner. But once the warranty expires, owners start facing costly issues, especially with the electronics. Those fancy tech features that impress you on day one, they often turn into a nightmare at the repair shop. According to Consumer Reports, its reliability is just average, and mechanics regularly deal with infotainment bugs and electrical headaches. Here's the real problem. Luxury sedans are falling out of favor in the US, with SUVs dominating the market. This shift has tanked resale values for cars like the A7. So if you're all about style and don't mind losing money, go for it. But if you want to be smart with your cash, definitely skip the Audi A7. Coming in at number 19, we've got the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the crown jewel of the brand's luxury lineup. But don't let the prestige fool you. This flagship sedan loses a staggering 60.7% of its value in just 5 years. That's over $71,000 disappearing from your investment. Yes, it's packed with cutting-edge tech and dripping in luxury. And sure, it looks stunning parked in your driveway. But when something goes wrong, and it will, you're looking at repair bills starting around $1,500, even for simple electrical issues. The 2020 model in particular gained a reputation for baffling system failures that even seasoned mechanics struggled to diagnose. It's a classic lose-lose. The original owner takes a massive depreciation hit, and whoever buys it secondhand is left dealing with sky-high maintenance costs. All that upscale branding, it's just a costly illusion wrapped in a three-pointed star. Holding the number 18 spot is the Land Rover Discovery, a vehicle that manages to lose an eye-watering 60.9% of its value in just 5 years. That's almost $37,000 gone before you've even had time to enjoy it. And sadly, that steep depreciation is only the start of your troubles. Owners frequently report ongoing electrical glitches and suspension failures, with the average repair bill topping $1,200 per visit. And trust me, those visits aren't rare. Despite its tough, adventure-ready image and showroom charm, the Discovery has earned a reputation as one of the least reliable SUVs on the market. Once you pass the 60,000-mile mark, the problems tend to snowball. Unless you've got a love for frustration and a bottomless wallet, this is one SUV you should steer clear of. Yet again, another Audi makes the list. This time, it's the A6 taking the number 17 spot. Over 5 years, it loses a painful 60.9% of its value, which translates to more than $35,000 vanishing into thin air. Like its siblings, the A6 is plagued by infotainment failures, electrical gremlins, and the harsh reality of a shrinking sedan market. Reliability scores hover at average, but talk to an owner, and you'll hear plenty of repair bill horror stories. The real problem? The A6 is stuck in an awkward middle ground. Japanese competitors offer stronger reliability, lower running costs, and hold their value far better. Buying one is like putting your money into a stock that's already circling the drain. Landing at number 16 is the Cadillac Escalade, the king of American luxury SUVs. That also happens to shed 61% of its value in just 5 years. That's more than $53,000 gone, which is enough to buy an entirely different vehicle outright. Sure, the Escalade delivers comfort, presence, and plenty of features, but it also comes with fuel economy that'll have your wallet begging for mercy, around 14 miles per gallon on a good day. And when repairs pop up, even basic fixes start at $1,000 and can escalate quickly. Part of the resale problem comes from the market being flooded with high-mileage ex-rental and limo service Escalades. So that luxury SUV you're eyeing? There's a good chance it spent its life shuttling airport passengers, not pampering a careful owner. Definitely not the smartest place to park your money. At number 15, we have the Infiniti QX60, a mid-size luxury SUV that manages to shed 61.5% of its value in just 5 years. nearly $31,000 gone. And here's the real kicker. It's not even luxurious enough to make those losses sting less. Edmunds gives it a lukewarm 7.6 out of 10, pointing to bland performance and so-so reliability. Owners also complain that maintenance costs are right up there with German luxury brands, except you don't get the performance, prestige, or resale value to match. When you strip away the badge, the QX60 is essentially a dressed-up Nissan Pathfinder that costs more and holds its value even less. Overpriced, underwhelming, and entirely forgettable. This one's an easy skip. Yet another Audi makes the cut at number 14, the Q7 SUV, which loses a painful 61.6% of its value in just 5 years. That's more than $37,000 straight out the window. On paper, it's a tech enthusiast's dream. In practice, it's a maintenance headache. Consumer Reports gives it only average reliability, and owners constantly complain about suspension problems and electronic glitches. If the air suspension fails, expect a repair bill starting at $2,000, and that's just one issue. With newer luxury SUVs rolling out better technology and more efficient systems, the Q7 starts to feel outdated fast. And when that touchscreen dies and the repair invoice lands in your lap, you'll be wishing you'd gone with something far less troublesome. Coming in at number 13 is the BMW 5 Series Sedan, which drops a staggering 61.7% of its value in just 5 years. That's more than $36,000, gone without a trace. When it's brand new, the 5 Series is an incredible driver's car. But once that factory warranty runs out, the ownership experience takes a sharp turn. Expect to pay around $1,500 for a single control module, over $2,000 for suspension repairs, and brace yourself for years of chasing down pesky electrical issues. The resale problem is made worse by the flood of off-lease models hitting the market. Most people lease them new, then dump them after 3 years, leaving a glut of used examples. And with a reputation for steep maintenance costs, buyers are hesitant, which absolutely tanks the value. At number 12, we've got the Audi A8L, the brand's flagship luxury sedan, and yet another example of brutal depreciation. Over 5 years, it sheds a staggering 62.7% of its value, which works out to nearly $58,000 gone. On paper, it scores decently. Edmunds gives it a 7.9 out of 10, but the real story is in the ownership costs. Frequent electronic failures, air suspension breakdowns, and the need for specialized technicians all add up to repair bills that can make your jaw drop. And with big luxury sedans rapidly falling out of favor, executives and buyers alike shifting to SUVs, the resale market for these cars has all but dried up. Unless you have a deep love for spending money and waiting weeks for parts to arrive, this is one you'll want to steer clear of. Cracking into the top 10 is the Land Rover Range Rover, a luxury SUV that manages to lose an eye-watering 62.9% of its value in just 5 years. Nearly $68,000 gone. Sure, it's dripping with style and high-end comfort, but it's also infamous for being one of the least reliable SUVs on the road. Owners report a constant stream of problems: collapsed air suspensions, failing electrical systems, engine issues. You name it, the Range Rover has probably broken it. There are entire online forums dedicated solely to fixing this one model, which pretty much says it all. Most people who get one lease it, just so they can hand it back before the real headaches begin. Unless you're willing to roll the dice with your bank account, it's best to walk away. At number 10, we've got the Cadillac Escalade ESV, the stretched, extended wheelbase version of the standard Escalade. Unfortunately, that extra length doesn't help its resale value. Over 5 years, it drops a brutal 62.9%, which works out to nearly $57,000 gone. Yes, you get more interior space, but you also get real-world fuel economy hovering around 13 miles per gallon and repair bills that often start in the thousands. It's basically a luxury-lined money pit on wheels. To make matters worse, a lot of these have lived their first life in fleet or rental service. So when you buy one used, there's a good chance you're really just picking up a retired airport shuttle in fancy clothes. At number 9, we have the Tesla Model X, a vehicle that sheds an eye-popping 63.4% of its value in just 5 years. That's nearly $54,000 gone. When it first arrived, it felt like the future: fast, sleek, and loaded with groundbreaking tech. But those signature Falcon Wing doors, when they break, repairs can top $30,000. Add in battery degradation over time, and your driving range and resale value shrinks even faster. With newer EVs hitting the market offering longer range, quicker charging, and lower prices, the Model X has started to feel like yesterday's tech. and buyers are well aware of it. At number 8, we've got the Maserati Levante, a luxury SUV dripping with Italian style, and unfortunately, loaded with financial heartbreak. In just 5 years, it loses a staggering 63.7% of its value, which means nearly $65,000 of your investment disappears. Yes, the Levante is a head-turner, but beyond its good looks, the cracks start to show. Literally. Owners frequently report electrical glitches, random system failures, and parts that require specialized Italian technicians to fix. Even basic issues can start at $1,500. Factor in a small dealer network, long waits for replacement parts, and limited brand recognition in the US, and it's no mystery why the Levante's value nosedives. It may be exotic in name, but when it comes to reliability and resale, it's anything but. At number 7, we've got the Nissan Leaf, one of the original trailblazers in the electric car world, and now, unfortunately, one of the worst depreciating EVs out there. Over 5 years, it loses 64.1% of its value, around $18,000. That might sound small compared to luxury models, but when the starting price is low, that kind of hit is devastating. The problem starts with its limited range, about 150 miles on a full charge, which looks laughable next to today's EVs pushing 300 miles or more. And that's when the battery is still healthy. Many owners report degradation that drops real-world range to 120 miles or less. This is first-generation EV tech, and it hasn't aged gracefully. Selling a used Leaf today is a bit like trying to sell a first-gen iPhone in 2025. Sure, it works, but it's completely outdated, and the used market prices it accordingly. At number 6, we circle back to BMW, this time with the 5 Series Hybrid. Over 5 years, it loses a painful 64.7% of its value, which means more than $47,000 flushed away. You'd expect a hybrid to hold its value better, right? Not in this case. The 5 Series Hybrid packs in all the usual BMW headaches: complex electronics, pricey parts, and then adds the extra layer of hybrid system complexity. That's basically double the components that can fail and double the repair costs when they do. Making matters worse, this hybrid tech is already being overshadowed. Fully electric vehicles have stolen the spotlight, and models like this, stuck between gas and full EV, are quickly sliding into obsolescence. Cracking into the top 5 is the Maserati Ghibli, a car that proves gorgeous Italian styling can't protect you from devastating depreciation. In just 5 years, this luxury sedan sheds 64.7% of its value, which adds up to nearly $71,000 gone. Car and driver might praise its looks, but that's where the compliments end. Owners are hit with staggering repair bills, painfully long waits for parts, and a dealership network so small it might as well be non-existent. Even basic maintenance often runs into the 4-figure range. And despite the exotic badge, the Ghibli doesn't deliver truly exotic performance. It's stuck in an awkward middle ground, costly to own, uninspiring to drive, and almost impossible to sell without taking a huge financial hit. At number 4, we've got the Infiniti QX80, a full-size Japanese luxury SUV that loses a hefty 65% of its value over 5 years, wiping out more than $53,000. At first glance, it might seem like a solid value, but look closer and the issues quickly pile up. Motor Trend criticizes it for outdated technology, terrible fuel economy, around 14 miles per gallon, and an interior that feels old the moment you step inside, even brand new. The QX80 is huge, pricey, and doesn't excel at much. It lacks the prestige of German SUVs, the strong resale value of a Toyota, and the cutting-edge innovation of newer electric vehicles. Essentially, it's an overpriced relic with modern-day maintenance costs and prehistoric depreciation. Now stepping into the top 3, at number 3, we have the Tesla Model S. This flagship electric sedan loses a hefty 65.2% of its value in 5 years. That's over $52,000 just disappearing. It still impresses with its performance and tech, but with newer models offering longer range and more advanced features, the Model S is starting to feel a bit outdated. Then there's the costly battery replacement, which can run upwards of $20,000 once the battery naturally degrades. On top of that, owners report issues like infotainment glitches, panel gaps, and inconsistent build quality. It's no surprise that used buyers are hesitant. The technology has moved forward, and the resale market clearly shows it. Our runner-up at number 2 is the BMW 7 Series, a full-size German luxury sedan that loses a staggering 67.1% of its value in just 5 years. That's over $65,000 wiped out. On paper, It's loaded with features and cutting-edge technology. But under the hood, it's a mechanic's nightmare. The 7 Series is packed with complex electronics, sensors, and systems that can even stump certified BMW technicians. And those repairs come with hefty price tags. Once the warranty expires, you're facing massive repair bills, often running into the thousands just to address standard issues. Couple that with the shrinking market for luxury sedans, and you're left with a used car that's hard to sell. The first owner takes the brutal depreciation hit, while the second owner inherits the costly maintenance headache. Nobody wins. And finally, the #1 most worthless car in America is the Jaguar I-Pace EV. This British electric SUV loses a staggering 72% of its value in just 5 years. That's nearly $52,000 gone in the blink of an eye. What car? Highlights numerous reliability issues, including recalls for critical components like brakes and electronics. Owners face frequent breakdowns, outrageously expensive repairs, and a limited service network that only makes owning one more frustrating and costly. With a range of just 234 miles, the I-Pace already feels outdated next to newer EVs boasting 300 miles or more. Couple that with Jaguar's shaky reputation for reliability, and it's no surprise buyers have completely turned their backs on this model. What was meant to be Jaguar's bold leap into the electric future has instead become a cautionary tale, a bit like setting a stack of cash on fire and driving away with a lemon.